A new service of the Horizon system is the Report Manager. The Report Manager you will find under the Information main menu in the Report sections. Over here you will see the workspace of the Reports Manager. As you can see, we have two tabs. One is the report's definition, where we can see all our reports, and the second is the executed reports, the one that we already executed. Let's see the various sections. Here in the Reports Definition tab, we can find some buttons to search to look for our reports that we have already defined. We can search for all the reports or a specific reports by name. We can look for our recent reports, for our favorites reports, or advanced by date. The other bar is to select from a predefined report template that we have in the system and start work with this template. We can either run this template as it is or customize it for our needs. Let's see how it works. If I will click now on the select button, I will have this screen to search for all the reports that I can use, the templates, the examples that I can use. In this case, we have several reports according to the permissions that I have. If I have the permissions to look for the data about the parts trade as a buyer, or parts trade as a supplier, or the repair report that is for our repair processes. Let's take, for example, this template. Repair report, I will select this item and I will add it into my list. Now this template is here in my list and I can run it as it is. Clicking on this report will open a contextual menu which can give you several options to work with this report, to execute it immediately, to see the report details, to see what is the definitions of this report. You can copy this report to make another. You can update it or delete it, of course. You can do it also by the buttons that you have here when you select this checkbox. Let's now look on the report details. Clicking on this option will give you all the information about this report, about this example. Here we have the report's details, main detail. Over here in this section you can find the filter that the report is working with. In this case it's the date of only the last month. This will be used only for statistic reports, to group by several fields. Over here, the report layout, we can see the layout that will show all the fields in the report itself. In this case, we have several fields: open date, repair, work provider, vehicle registration code, external code, model description, and the total VAT plus VAT. Also, this field will be summarized with the total. In this section, the summary level, we can use in the main level the summary for all the report, or we can add some more levels, subtotals. In this section you will see the sorting definition. In this case, in this example, we have the date and the vehicle registration code by this order. Now, if we want to run this report as it is, or to see the results, we can click on the preview button over here, and this will show us the report without running it. Show the results. This means that this report is running now on the memory itself. And now we can see the results of this report. As you can see, we have the main details, we have the titles, the header, and the footer, also the main total, main level. I will close this. If it's okay by me, I can just execute it. And this operation now will open this wizard to execute this report. Now this wizard will ask you several questions. If we would like to execute it immediately or to wait with the schedule to the night or some other schedule. You can display the report immediately in HTML format when it's ready, or do it in another way. You can select the default sort or others, and you can change the filter for this report now. If I don't want to do anything, I can go next, and here I see the details of this report. I can put some details about this report. In this case, it's the last month reports of the repair process. So I can write down last month or some other descriptions. The expiration period, I can define how much time it will be stored in the system, in the database. After 2 days, it will be deleted. We can attach it as one of these formats, CSV files, Excel, or PDF. We can select a language for this report, for this execution, and put some remarks. Next phase will give us the option to notify for some entities or parties that I would like about this report. For example, Demo Assessor Office, I would like to notify him about this report that he can see it also. These are all entities in the Horizon system. Next, we can also modify the message and put also an external email for getting this report by attachment of PDF in this case. And you can manage and modify the report as you want. Okay, after you did this, clicking on the finish will run the report, and you will see the progress bar that is working until it's become green like this. You can see that we have one page with 3 rows. Going next, we can display the report in several formats: web HTML format, PDF format, Excel, or XLS. We will look at it with the HTML format, and this is the same result as we saw before. But this report is now executed and stored with its data on the server for 2 days. Closing this, now we will see the exact execution details for this report. As you can see, with our filters, with the fields we have selected, and with the time of the execution. Going back, we can now see that in the executed reports we have another record, which is the last report that we have done, with the 3 records inside. Let's go back now to the report definitions and change some fields inside this report. We will take the same report, the repair report, and we will see the details again, but in this case I would like to change some definitions to customize this example, this template, into my needs. For doing this, I can click on the Advanced button. This will open a wizard which will take me step by step to change all the definitions of this report. The first screen will be the details, the main details. As you can see, we have the template name, the report name we can also change. If we would like to change for another name, we can click on this button, look for the text that we have in the system, or create a new text that will fit to my report. In this case, we will leave it like this. We can put the report description according to the report that we would like. For example, we would like to see the report for all the details of the last year or the current year. We can adjust the schedule for this report for a daily process, weekly process, monthly process, whatever we would like. In this case, we can put it as daily report. We can now determine the expiration date for this period of this report that will be stored on a database, 2 days or 3 or whatever we would like. We can attach always this report as one of these formats and make some definition about the language. We put our remarks and we can go next to the next stage. The next screen will be the filters. In this case, the filter will define which cut of the data we will take. For now, this filter is adjusted for the creation date of the file of the repair process for the last month. If I would like to change this, I can click on this item, on this filter, and update it. This will open a new field, a new screen, where I can change some details about this filter, including its name. For example, if I would like to change its name, I can put here a different name from the text I have, or create some other text. For example, open date. I can define whether this filter will be optional, mandatory, it means that we need to put some information inside, or a fixed one, which is behind and we cannot change it. In this case, we will make it optional to be changed. The filter description, if you would like to put, we can do this. We can add some filter description to the report also, and we will determine the condition type. In this case, as it was in the example, in the template, it was for the last month. I would like to change it to the current year. It means that all the data will be taken from the start of this year. Otherwise, we have some other definitions for this filter, like current quarter, current month, current week, from a range or from a specific date, and other condition types. Let's leave it on the current year. We can also change a little bit the data modification, the type by the year, quarter, month, etc. And we can put here the value if it's the definition by the value. For example, if I will change it to the last or to a range, now the value will change between 2 dates where I can pick from. I would change it back to the current year as we would like. Next, after I did this, I've changed this filter. I can also add some more filters. We have a list of all the filters for this specific template report. And for example, I can take another filter as I would wish for. For example, I will take only the filters which are only the records the files which are bigger than 0 with the amount inside. In this case, it will take only the files that they have some estimate inside. Of course, also here we can define the filter as we would like. We can change the type for a range to equal to a specific data, etc. After this, we have two filters, and we can go next to the next phase. The next phase will be the layout, how we would like to display the report and which fields to show on it. This comes from the template. We can change the order of the fields if we would like, move up or down. We can also change and modify some of these fields. For example, if we'll take the total VAT and we'll update this field, we can change its name if we would like. We can, as you can see from the template, it comes from the summary line. We can put also the average, minimum value or maximum value, and make some other operations. If the data is repeated itself, we can also, for example, hide the column or hide the repeated. Okay. All this can be done here, and of course we can select some more fields from the templates if you would like to display them. Clicking on the select button will open the list of all the fields that we have in this template, and we can add the exact fields that we would like to display. For example, let's add the year of this model, the VIN code, etc. Adding these fields, we can now adjust the order and we have a new display for this report. Let's go next. The next phase will be the levels. The levels are the summary levels. From the template we have the main level summary. This is the main or the last line with the total. We can add another level if we would like and put it, for example, according to a subtotal of the vehicle registration code or model description, whatever we think is relevant. Let's put this one. Next. Now we will adjust this level. We can show the titles within the header and within the footer if we want. We can change some formats inside the format for the view for this level or sub-level, and we can leave it as it is like now. Now we have two levels, the main level and sub-level, subtotal for the model description. Let's go next. The next phase will be the sort. From the template we have this sort inside by this order. We can change the order if we would like, or we can select some more sorting by the year, for example. After that we can go next, and we have the notification phase where we can put our notification for the garage and for the assessor. This will be by definition of this report, and we can also adjust the message inside. In this case the report is adjusted and changed for the last year or current year. After we did all this, the wizard has finished to change and customize this report. and we will see it on this screen. All the details that we've changed are coming and taking effect in this screen. As you can see, the filter is changed, the levels are changed, some fields are more to display, and the sort also. If we want now to see what is the results of this customized report, we can click on the preview again before running this report, and we will see the result immediately. As you can see, we have the main details, we have the title in this case by the description of the model, and we have the summary and the average inside for each file, for each record of the repair. If it's suitable for us, this customized report, we can execute it as we would like. Clicking on the execute button will run now immediately the report. We can also change some figures within the filters when we are running this, if it's optional filters. Change the date, and if we don't want to do anything, we just run this as it is. Running, we will have now this report that are coming and ready after it's become green. Let's go next, and we can now show this report also in another format, in the PDF format, for example. And we have now the reports in PDF format as we customized it, with the total at the end. We can also send this report or print it or save it on our computer. If we don't want it anymore, we can also delete it. Sending this report, for example, by clicking on the send, we can choose the format and now send the message with an email inside. Okay, let's go back to our main workspace over here, and now we can see that we have the report, which is a little bit customized by our definitions. Now if we want to see again our executed report, we can go to this tab and we can see the last report that we have run with the 23 records, and we can also display it again. This will display the last report that we have run in the system in the format that we would like.